The title of this book is Soul Journey, or The Journey of Souls. It may be obtained by searching various bookshelves within the Great Library and the Arceuus House of the Great Kourend on the new continent of Zeah. Hope you guys enjoy. The Journey of Souls. If a culture does not respect its past, it deserves no future. In Kourend, every generation owes a debt of gratitude and honor to the previous generations, recognizing their toil and blood that raised our city from its humble origins to its present glories. It has therefore been my privilege to study the Soul Altar, that mystical beacon that gathers the souls of the departed, guiding them into the river. My study is no mere academic interest. I embark on it as a mark of respect and honor for the deceased generations whose souls now flow in the river. The river. As the mortals of Kourend reach their death, their souls abandon the flesh temples they inhabited, leaving the flesh to suffer corruption and decay. The soul, however, does not decay. Released from the fetters of its flesh temple and from the constraints of the material world, the soul is at last free. Mercifully, the soul is not left to wander aimlessly through the world. Instead, the soul altar calls it, reaching across the land to all the wandering souls of Kourend, drawing them to the river. The river leads the souls through unchartable realms, transcending the plane of the world. Yet they are not abandoned to the forces that might prey. The Guardian's Keeper. Many years ago, before the ascent of Arceuus, I was a young assistant to the elders. A day came when there was a terrible turmoil down the river. A human adventurer had breached the Guardian's cave. This broke the bonds of the Guardian, and she sought to escape from her solemn duty of protecting the souls. The elders acted fast to restore the Guardian to her post. There was, at that time, an herbalist whose mind and body were known to be in a manipulable state due to his foolish experiments. Seizing him while he was helpless in his potion-induced trance, the elders cast spells of torment upon him. In order to relieve the torment, he agreed to become our key master, bound to watch the Guardian's cave to ensure the Guardian does not break loose again. He has served well over the years. It was cruel of the elders to subject him to such a fate, but the need was desperate. The Soul Altar. The Soul Altar is therefore a blessing to the people of Kourend, bringing their souls to the safety of the river. We cannot know the fate of souls in distant lands beyond the reach of our Soul Altar, but the destiny provided by our Soul Altar is a sure comfort to us here. We therefore owe a debt of gratitude to the Dark Altar, for it is the Dark Altar's power that creates and maintains Kourend's Soul Altar, drawing energy to this realm from the unknown plane where the true Soul Altar resides. Without the Dark Altar's influence, there would be no Soul Altar here, and the souls of our forebears would be abandoned to an unknown fate. It is not known why the Soul Altar has created our Soul Altar or Blood Altar. Cynical minds have speculated that its motives may not be benevolent, but I call shame on such suspicious murmurings. The Soul Altar enables our city's departed souls to have the comforting certainty of the river. It is clearly a great blessing and a fitting reward for those who have served the city in their mortal lives. The ensouled. The soul does not always succeed in freeing itself from its flesh temple at the time of death. Many warriors have found, to their horror, that the soul of their foe remains trapped in the corpse. Ensouled heads are a sign of a soul in torment. It is therefore our duty to free such souls from their prison with all due speed. The magic of the Dark Altar enables the ensouled head to reform itself a rudimentary body. This may be slain in order to grant liberty to the soul at last. For this service, the gods grant extra favor compared to the mundane activity of burying bones. The Soul Bearer. I have written of the time when a human adventurer breached the Guardian's cave. While in there, the human attempted to steal an artifact from the cave. This disruption to the river caused the loosening of the Guardian's bonds, allowing her to attempt to escape from her duty. Naturally, she slew the foolish adventurer who deserved no better. After the elders had restored balance to the river and appointed the Keymaster to watch over the Guardian in future, they came across the artifact among the items and bones dropped by the adventurer. The origin of the artifact is unclear, but it is believed to draw a soul from one place to another, enabling the soul to travel with the river across the dimensions. Thus, it was named the Soul Bearer. Mercifully, the river still flows in its established path without further aid from the artifact. However, in the death of the adventurer, the artifact had become damaged, so they brought it back to Kourend in hope that someone among the elders could repair it. Sadly, even the most learned elders could not repair the artifact, and eventually it was buried with all due ceremony and reverence, protected by spells to ensure no future explorer would find it by chance. If the artifact could ever be repaired, it would regain its powers to draw a soul from one place to another. Indeed, I believe it could do this to an ensouled head, exerting its power on the soul contained within the head. However, following the ascent of Arceuus, this ability would be of no practical benefit to the house. And with that, we've reached the end of this audiobook. This one was a pretty big one in terms of lore, very heavy in the storyline. In this book, we learned of Cerberus's origin because it appears that the Guardian is Cerberus, or at least it alludes to that. I'm not sure if that is intentional or if there's going to be a plot twist later on, but it appears that Cerberus is this Guardian, which also means that Cerberus's gender is now known. Cerberus appears to be female, which is interesting because I always thought that Cerberus was male and Zulrah was female. The snake boss, I always referred to Zulrah as a she, but I guess I've got those mixed up in terms of how the actual lore is supposed to go. I think occasionally, if you look past on some of my previous videos, you'll find me calling Zulrah a she. But at any rate, also discussed in this book was the lore behind the Soul Bearer and why the residents of the Arceuus house didn't make too big of an attempt to recover it or repair it, because it serves almost no use to the Arceuus house, as the end statements of the book proclaimed. So it's mostly used by
the adventurer to transport and sold heads to the bank. And then there was also the River of Souls, and we found that both the Blood Altar and the Soul Altar are derived from the Dark Altar, which seems to pull its power from the River of Souls itself, possibly, depending on how you interpret that. If I missed anything in this brief summary, please let me know what else was learned from this book down below in the comments, and if you have any alternate opinions to mine as to what this book means. I'm interested to know what you guys think on this one, as this seems to be a fairly lore-heavy story and might have an impact on future content depending on how exactly it's interpreted. Well, I'll see you guys tomorrow with another audiobook. Peace.